Welcome to Unmuted Podcast with our amazing host and author, Recia Kabbah. In a noisy world, we cut through the chatter, amplifying important voices. Are you ready for raw, unscripted stories that shape our daily lives? Well, on Unmuted, we tackle tough topics, challenge the norms, and share untold stories. Each episode, we bring in thought leaders, influencers, and everyday heroes for genuine conversations. It's not just a podcast. It's a platform for real, raw, expressive conversations. Get ready for the emotions, laughters, and most of all, the truth. Unmuted is more than just a show. It's a movement. So join us as we break the silence to embrace the power of honest dialogue. Welcome to Unmuted, where conversations are real.
Welcome, 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 welcome. Welcome to Unmuted Podcast. I am your host, Recia Kabbah. On today's episode, I have a very special person with me. She is the CEO and founder of Rebirth Execute Women Empowerment Event and a miracle beauty consultant, plus a devoted wife, mother, and a glam mom. This woman is about to tell us some things that we all need to know. She is no one other than my sister, Lakiesha Lynch. Hey, Mama, how you doing?
Hey, how are you?
Okay. Thank you for being here. I'm so happy to have you.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Thank you. How are you doing today? How was your day? Tell us.
I'm doing well. I went to church this morning, got my praise on, and came home and relaxed. I didn't have to cook today, so that was definitely a good thing.
Yeah.
And so here I am now. Here I am with
Yes,
you.
here you are. Thank you so much. Yes, I missed church today because my daughter had a game, but at 1 o'clock,
Okay.
so it's like I can't, you know. Sometimes you just have to do what you have to do. But thank you for being here. I am
That's
so
it.
excited to have you. You are the first one really on my podcast to talk about a marriage that has been so successful. You know, usually we are talking about divorce and disappointments and we crying and you know all the good stuff. I won't call it bad stuff, all the good stuff. But so I'm excited for this today. You can go on my page and share it for your people so your followers can see before we
Okay.
get deeper into it. Yes. So we are
Okay.
live, so you can just go to Facebook and share it to your page. Let me see what I can do here. Maybe I can tag you.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, you see it? Yep. You just share it so your people can see you.
Yes, because I am not techno savvy at all. So, okay.
It's okay. If you share it, everybody can see your interview before we go any further. Are you done?
I didn't.
Did you share it?
I'm gonna
You
share
can
it
share the
to a
live
group.
video,
Let me
guys.
see.
Anybody watching, you can share this video for your followers to be able to see as you are. Don't be, just share it. So were you able to share it?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so all right. Now, like I said earlier, my guest today is here to talk to us about being married and staying married. Okay, it is very easy for us to get married, but to stay married has been the challenge for most people. It's been very challenging for most people, including myself. And so I am glad to have you here today with me, because I know when I leave here today, I may not be living the same. I'm going to be taking some knowledge with me to my next, whoever he's going to be.
He's out there. He's out there.
He's out there. Yes, I receive it.
Yes.
So please tell us a little bit of your marriage, and just from all right. So what do you think has been the most important factor in keeping your marriage strong over the years?
Most important is keeping God first. Keeping God first in all that we do. Because my husband and I have been together. We've been married for 29 years, but we've been together for 34 years. And it has been a journey, because we've always known that we were, supposed to be together. But, it's hard when you first start out, because you're two individual people who are very independent. And then you have to learn how to come together as one. And so that was a struggle for me, because I was very, very independent, wanted to do things my own way. He was very patient, thank goodness. But, I didn't really understand the full value of getting married. And we did go through counseling, which I always encourage others to do. We went through the counseling. We did all that we were supposed to do prior to. But when the time came for us to exercise what we learned through counseling, it was a challenge for me, because now it became real. It wasn't just something that I had to look forward to. It was something that I had to actually be in at that moment. So it was really difficult. But knowing that God was always first in our marriage, that played a major part, because it helped me to see things in a different way. It gave me a different perspective. My husband is very, very laid back. And so sometimes I wasn't sure if this is what I really wanted, or this is what I really needed, because I thought maybe I wanted someone who was more, how can I say it, more, not headstrong, because he's a very smart, intelligent man. But, because he was so laid back, it just seemed like it was different. Let me just say that it was different from what I was used to previously. Okay. Prior to my husband and I, meeting, I was used to a different type of person, a different type of personality, someone who was more outgoing, someone who challenged me more, but as time went on, I realized that the challenges that I dealt with back then and the challenges that we had in our marriage were totally different. And that what I was going through back then, we had no foundation. It was pointless. But now, dealing with the challenges that I had with my husband, it helped me to understand that, Keisha, you need to sit back. You need to think about things that you're doing, how you're bringing things to the table, what you're offering to your mate, because it goes both ways. It goes both ways. A lot of times I think, marriages don't work because it's very one-sided. Right. A person only wants to see things their way, and they're so stuck in their own ways that they're not willing to be open to anything different. So again, God has made a big difference, because, anytime we went through something, I had to pray. I had to ask God to help me to see things in a different way, because I wasn't understanding, because now my reality seemed like it was being questioned, because I didn't know how to be a wife, because it was all new for me. I didn't know how to, surrender as a woman should surrender to her husband. I didn't know how to do that. It was all so new, and it was foreign, because again, I was set in my own ways. I knew how I like to operate, how I like to move. And, even as far as there were times when I would go out with my girlfriends, I had to remember, now I have a husband, and I have to consider him. I have to consider him wanting to spend time with me, or, just whatever. I had to always make sure he was included. So, with God being, the head of our marriage, it helps me to fully evaluate and assess how I was operating in my marriage. And that's what actually kept us, I believe, all this time.
Okay. That's what you said. You said something earlier. The opposite. You know, something you wasn't used to before. That's what he was, and you. So oftentimes I hear people say, "Oh, you know, this is not my kind of woman or my kind of man." Well, has your kind been working so far? That's the question we should ask ourselves. Like, okay, we are used to dating certain kind of people, but sometimes maybe what we think is for us is not what God wants for us. And you know, and two
Absolutely.
people that are the same cannot be together. It has to be some type of difference because we have to meet in our middle. You know, he has to be different in certain ways for you to be different in certain way because that's how he gets to love your flaws and you get to love his flaws. But we being with the same kind of people, you know, or what we vision for ourselves, usually most of the time it's just the wrong person we are with. So this is why, you know, especially with my experience, I'm just more now focused on God choosing my partner than me thinking somebody is for me because what I may be thinking may not be what God wants for me, you know. So I'm being open-minded and also at the same time I'm staying very focused and watch out for myself, more like being what's the word I want to use? More like being real with myself and real with the people that I meet, you know, and just being more direct, you know, and
Mhm.
involving God. I feel like something that I did not do before, I need to start to do because having it's different when you put your life into God's hands and let Him choose for you rather than just thinking everything that come to you, oh, God gave me this. Sometimes God did not give you that. You know, you can't, you have to really be connected with him to actually know whether he's telling you this is what for you or it's not for you. So and here you go 29 years later, almost 3 decades with somebody that you did not think was the one because you had so many different, you know, you wasn't used to that. That wasn't the one you were used to, but that's what God had for you, you see. So you may be the
Right.
active one, like you said, more independent, because I was independent before I got married, you know, raising 3 children, working 3, 4 jobs, paying your own bills, you know, you just this boss girl, boss woman, whatever you call it. Nobody can tell me nothing. You know, I got my stuff together. And then, you know, so you want that. If somebody comes in, they want to take that away from you. It's their way. Hold on. Like I'm not about to tell you everything I'm doing with my life. But that's where we have to, you know, meet in the middle. And I feel like I did that. I even did a lot more than just doing that. But again, I feel like that wasn't what God wanted for me. So I take those things as a lesson, you know, and just move on. And understanding that starting over is not always a bad thing because now you are starting with experience rather than where you was before, you know. And so thank you for sharing that part. Look for the opposite. Don't just let people go because that's not what we are used to. If we all just get what we want, then that's not even a possibility to just get what we want. Of
You
everybody I know, most people I know that are married today for a long time, they always say they marry the opposite person. They always say they marry the opposite person. It's not the type of man they thought they would marry or the type of woman they thought they would marry. You know, meanwhile, the marriage is successful. It's going good. I'm not saying it's everything has to be perfect, but they find their person with the opposite, you know, rather than the people that we think we find what we want, what we like, how he look, how he speak, how he present himself. After 3, 4 months, here you are in divorce court, you know. So let God be the center of your union. You know, I think that's the most important part. So let's move on. How do you and your husband handle challenges or disagreements? especially after nearly 3 decades?
So it's all about, the journey, because every phase in your life, you realize that you see things in a different way. So the way I saw things 29 years ago is not the way I saw things 15 years ago, and it's definitely not the way I see things today, right? So it's definitely a journey. And so again, God is first. So we have to always pray. We have to pray, even about our marriages, because again, we're individual people. We're people who are imperfect. We're imperfect people, but we're perfect for one another. And so anything that's worth having is worth fighting for, right? And so there were a lot of times when I didn't think it was going to work. And he'll tell you the same thing. And I'll be honest, I even remember back, it was our first 1-year anniversary. And I was actually looking for an attorney because I said, I don't want to do this anymore. This is what I thought I was for. I didn't want to give it a chance. And it was actually on our first anniversary. I'll never forget that. And it was a day that we should have been celebrating, our first year together. And yet I was trying to get away from him, right? I was trying to get away from him because, again, I didn't want to surrender, and that was really a big thing for me, because it's like, okay, for most of my life, I've always done things the way I wanted to do things, right? And then now here's this guy coming along, and now not only do I have to share time with him, but I have to share everything else with him. And so it was very, very challenging. So again, I was looking for that first anniversary, and I'm like, and I had to think about that, because even when I think about it, like, girl, what were you thinking? This is the man that God gave you, and you have to make it work. You have to make it work. And so I had to come to terms with that, to say, you know what, he is opposite of what I was used to, but again, he balances me out, right? He balances me. Because again, people who are just the same, you can't grow with that individual. It has to be a balance. He balances me out in a lot of areas, and I balance him out in certain areas as well. So it's a partnership. It's definitely a partnership that you have to.
Okay, guys, she's having a little technical issues, but she's going to come back on. So just stay with us. Don't go anywhere. I'm right here. You have any questions, type in your questions. I will read them out to her, and she can answer your questions. If anybody watching and they have questions, just go ahead and type in your questions, and Miss Lakiesha will be able to answer your questions. All right. So stay right here with us. She will be joining us right back. You guys can see her internet was giving her a hard time. Let me see what she's doing. All right, ladies. Thank you for watching, Teresa. You are absolutely right. Right. Yes. Yeah, we have to remain prayerful, because God is the only answer to our problems. He is the only one that can direct us and redirect us if we are going in the wrong directions. So to say I have learned a lot from our past relationships is an understatement. But life is about learning and growing and taking, your flaws and just moving with it. You can't regret anything in life, because our experiences make us who we are as we grow in life. So you have to embrace them. Things may not happen as we want them to all the time, but God is the center of everything. All right. So just keep strong. If you have been through a divorce and you're having a hard time, so be it. Nothing lasts forever. This too shall pass. All right. We have all experienced things. but it's not going to last forever, like I said. So she's going to come back on. She's trying to get on. Right. She's coming, so bear with us, bear with me, bear with us. Don't go anywhere. We are here. We are waiting for Miss Lakiesha Lynch. She had a difficulty with her internet. So stay with me. Don't leave me alone. Don't leave me alone. Stay here with me and stay here with us. She will be joining us right back. We have more things to discuss. We have more things to talk about. She is coming back on now. I can see her coming back in the room now. I'm gonna bring her on pretty soon. So, yay, she's here. Yay. There you go. It's okay. It happens. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, yes. All right, she's back with us. So we're gonna move on to the next question. As she was stating, what advice would you give to couples just starting out on how to build a lasting relationship, partnership, marriage, whatever we call it? Hello?
There seems to be a delay. So there seems to be a delay. But so what advice do I give to couples who are just starting out?
Yes.
Okay. So the advice I would give couples starting out is to be intentional. Be intentional about what you want. Be intentional about working at your marriage. You have to be intentional, because if you're not intentional, then you really don't have a foundation. Because it has to start from something, right?
Right.
It has to have a basis. It has to have a beginning. So my advice is to always consider your significant other person, and just to be intentional about what you really want, because what you don't want to do is you don't want to waste your time, and you don't want to waste that person's time.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to do that. So you want to be very intentional. You want to be very mindful. You want
to. Okay. Well, it has happened again. Hopefully she joined us right back. Whew. What is going on today? Guys, I am so sorry. I apologize. Something is going on with her. All right, she's back. I'm going to put her in, bring her right back. If you have any question for her, hopefully when she come back this time, the network is better. Hopefully. I'm sorry. I don't know what went on.
I apologize. I don't know.
Yeah, so well, she's back. So that's the good thing about it. She can join us right back. So yeah, so go ahead. What advice will you give to couples just starting out on how to build a lasting partnership? So she was telling us about that. So go ahead.
So be very intentional, because it takes work. You have to be willing to put in the work. You can't expect for your significant other to be the only one putting in the work, because it takes the both of you to make it work, right? And so you have to do your part. You have to be willing to do your part. You can't walk into a relationship blindfolded. You have to be open and honest, and you have to talk and communicate with one another. Mm-hmm. That's a very important aspect. You have to be willing to communicate, because if you don't communicate, then you have nothing. Because how do you know how to understand what the other person expects from you without there being some type of communication, right? It doesn't matter whether it's finances. It doesn't matter if it's about your, your interaction, intimacy, whatever it is. You have to be willing to communicate because we can't. And that's one thing that I did. I assumed that my husband knew what I expected, but then I realized that I never really put it out there for him to know what I expected. So how can I expect for him to, live up to that without him being aware of what it was that I was looking for or what I desired? So again, it's all about the journey because without that, it's almost impossible. You have to communicate. If you don't communicate, it's kind of like, you being in the house by yourself, even though the other person is there and you have nothing to talk about. You don't know how that person's day was going. And then that's another thing. When my husband comes home from work, I always ask him, how was your day? How was your night? Because he works overnight. I would ask him, how was work? Just to strike up a conversation with him to let him know, listen, you're out there in the world, you were working, making, a living for the family, but now you're here, you're home. This is your place of comfort. This is your comfort zone. So we have to make our husbands feel very comfortable, and we have to make them feel wanted. Because as men, and especially Black men in America, they already have a few things against them anyway. And so we have to do our due diligence and make sure that we make home as comfortable as possible for them. So when they get home, they can kind of like just wind down, forgetting about everything they had to go through outside of the house. Now you're home. I want you to feel loved. I want you to feel, understood. I want you to know that I hear you. I don't want you to just feel like you're just talking for nothing. I want you to know that I hear you. So, you have to communicate with one another. He does the same for me because he works overnight, I work during the day. So it's kind of like we kind of hit and miss. So we talk in the morning because when he's getting into bed in the morning, I'm pretty much about to get out of bed to start my day. So that time we use to kind of talk and have that communication going and to see if there's new things that we have planning, for each other coming up. And we're going to talk about this if it's something that we're going to do, and things of that nature. So communication is key. It's key because what to expect from the other half if you don't make it done. What your desires are, and you have to talk from the heart. Talk from the heart, So again, he's very, he's very intentional about asking me about my day. He's very intentional about making sure that I'm good, that I feel safe. And as a wife, it's my responsibility to make sure that he feels the same exact way.
Exactly.
And the man, they're the more masculine one, we're the more feminine one. But at the same time, if he caters to me, I cater to him, and I love everything about it.
Right. Be intentional and be open to have a conversation. Talk to each other. Your partner should be your best friend. Your partner should be the first person you think about when you have a great news or you have a bad news or your day is going bad, she said, because we all want to be, noticed. We all want for our partner to see us, to know that we are there, to care for us. Like you said, when the person coming home, you want to make sure home is your comfortable zone. You don't want to go to work all day and then time to go home, you're like dragging. You don't even want to go home because it's not peaceful or somebody's whining and grinding and that should be a sanctuary. Home should be your sanctuary. Home is the people. Okay, the building is just there, but the people in there are what makes it a home. So we want to be comfortable when we go home. We want to be happy to go home. We can't wait to get out of work to go home, So a partnership is like you go through a lot to get somebody and you have to do even more to keep that person, right? So, and more is not that you are going out of your way, but it's just like what she said, communicate. Don't assume somebody's know what you're thinking or what you're doing, because those things can really damage a relationship, even friendships. You have to communicate with people and be intentional. She said, be intentional. That will get you a long way. All right. Don't be afraid to speak up. Don't be afraid to speak your mind. If you're feeling some type of way, share your feelings. Your partner should be able to listen to you. Sometimes we have to listen to respond. We don't have to respond for everything. Sometimes you just have to sit there and just listen. That's all the person needs you to do. Just give them that listening ear. You don't have to have the answer. You don't have to have the solution. Sometimes we just need that listening ear. And so man, through my experiences, Miss Lakiesha, through my experiences with relationships, I don't know if maybe the next time I get married, I'm going to be the best. I don't know, because we live and we learn, right?
Right.
That's why I say you cannot regret things that happen to you, especially if they did not kill you. If you are here in our life,
Yes.
you can write those things off because you have the chance. God still gave you another chance to be able to make that right, to be better than who you were yesterday. Be a better vision of yourself. I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect, but we have to be patient. Relationship is a lot of patience. If you're not patient, you ain't gonna keep nobody. Nobody's gonna keep you. That's just it. But moreover, she been married for almost 30 years. I mean, who better for us to listen to? All right. I could better stay married for 4 years, and I'm not saying this to be, funny, but I mean, it takes two people to want a relationship, right? He have to be working at it. She have to be working on it. And both of them has to want it for it to happen. One person cannot make a marriage work. It takes two people. That's why I like to sometimes hear the men perspective and hear the men out. I'm working on bringing more men on the show because we would love to hear the men's side of the whole story, the whole relationships, and just everything, because they be going through it too, and they want to talk, and I want to give them the opportunity to talk. We are always like the women, we are always verbal. We just want to talk, but we forget that those men wants to talk too. They just have to find a safe place. We have to give them a safe place. If your man can come to you and open up to you, then you have given him a safe place. So we have to be safe for our partners. It can be your boyfriend. It doesn't matter. We have to open up and be able to give them a safe place for them to come, because if they can't come to you, they're going to go somewhere else. That's just it. They're going to go wherever they feel comfortable. So
That's right.
Right. So you have to make home comfortable and then leave the rest to God and be intentional.
That's right. Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. That's it. And then another thing I wanted to just add is the fact that because we're different people, men and women are completely different. Completely different. And so their way of expressing themselves is different from the way we're used to expressing ourselves. But that doesn't mean they're not trying, right? And that was another thing that I had to learn, because I expected things of him that wasn't in his capacity to give, right? And I had to understand that his way of communicating is different from my way of communicating. My way of communicating is either yelling or backing away, and his way of communicating is completely different. And so you have to build that medium, as you stated earlier. It takes a medium for you to come together and understand that even though we have different ways of expressing ourselves, we can still bring it together to make it make sense.
Right.
I used to always say, women were from Venus and men were from Mars, completely different planets. completely different planets, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it just seemed like he wasn't getting it for a long time. But then when I sat back and really evaluated, and as I started to grow as a person and as a wife, I understood that he was given everything that he had. And when I came to terms with that and learned to appreciate that, he started doing even more.
Mm-hmm.
So it just makes the marriage just blossom into something even greater than it was before. And we just
Mm-hmm.
keep, we just continue to love on each other. Like when I say that we love on each other, we sometimes me with my grown children and my granddaughter, be like, oh my goodness, you two need to stop. Because we show that expression, that level of love, that love language that we have for one another.
Mm-hmm.
Because I tell kids also, listen, you should be happy that you have parents that are still together and who still love each other.
Right.
Because a lot of times the parents, they stay together for the convenience of it,
Mm-hmm.
and they really don't have that relationship that is necessary to help to build. So I think we don't share, it is what it is. They say like joke and bits like that, but it's just wonderful to see us now from where we started out from. It's definitely a blessing. It's a blessing. And I love every bit of it. The good and bad and the ugly. Because as you said also earlier, there are going to be some challenges. There's always going to be challenges because again, we're different people. You're
Exactly.
always going to come across some obstacle that tries to seek and make some type of chaotic situation out of your marriage, right? But you have to be willing to get that work in and let the enemy know that you have no space, you have no place here. Keep it in, find somebody else or go where it's supposed to be because it's not going to work here. It's not working.
Exactly. God did not promise us that everything will go smooth. You know, He did not promise us that, but we have to be able to trust and believe in Him that when those challenges comes, we can conquer them. The weapon is going to fall. The weapon will form against us. But if you are trustworthy, if you are trusting God and putting your life in God, those weapons will not prosper. So you have to do the work and
Yeah.
just give it your best. Relationship is very, marriage is a great thing. I adore marriage. If only people knew how much I adore marriage, I think I adore relationship. I love to see love. I don't like to see people together just to be together, maybe for whatever situation. I like to see love, real authentic love, because you can tell when love is there. You can tell when people are just together just to be together for convenience, or it's been many years, you don't want to give it up or whatever. You can tell when that disconnect is there. And not to say that people have to always be clingy to each other after many
Right.
years, but you have to. That would take me to my next question. In fact, you have to do something. It's like I said earlier, you work hard to get somebody, you have to continue working to keep them, you know. And so that takes me to my next question. When a man want a girl, when a girl love a man, we go out of our way and we are trying to look good. We're trying to fix our hair, we're trying to do our nails, just be perfect for him, be perfect for her. But after a lot of people get into a relationship or after marriage, they feel like, all right, I got her now, or I got him now. I don't have to do much. I can let myself go now. I can sit around and just be me, my natural self. And sometimes those things can also cause other people, because we are human, and sometimes those things can cause other people to look elsewhere because you let yourself go. You're not paying attention to yourself anymore. For you being married for almost 3 decades, how have you been able to manage, to keep a spark in your marriage? What have you been able to do with that? Because 29 years is not a short term, and for you guys to be in love and still be where you guys are. What have you guys been able to do to keep that spark going in your marriage? Because somebody can learn from you, from you, from your experience. I'm sorry, but yeah, I often come towards people that I'd be like, damn, girl, go get your hair done. Like, he would like to see you looking fresh sometime. So yeah, what have you been able to do to just keep your marriage going and keeping it, happy? Happy. The church people watching, right? Yes, we have to keep our husbands.
Right, right. Well, so, for me, you should want to look a certain way anyway. That's first. That's key. You have to want it for yourself. I don't know anybody who would really just want to let themselves go. I like to look good. I feel more confident when I'm looking my best self, right? And so, I don't think I'll ever get to that point where I just don't care about how I look now. I'm not saying that I'm very, vague or anything like that, but keeping myself up is very important because that's what I choose to do.
Right.
Now, it's not someone else's choice, and that's on them. It's different. But as far as myself, I like to keep myself looking good. And also, when I step out the house, I'm not representing just myself, I'm representing my husband, right? I'm representing my husband as well. So, again, I try to keep myself looking good. Now, there may be times when I run to the grocery store, for a quick errand, and I may not, look good. Somehow I'm throwing on some lip gloss and something to keep myself looking, looking all right. Like I know people, that sometimes they'll go out and it looks like they're going to do laundry. No, that's not me. And then again, I'm representing my husband. He's with me or not. Now, when he's with me, that's even more because now, we're arm in arm, we're hand in hand, and I want people to know that listen, he has a good thing here. You know what I mean? And he's the same way. Sometimes he asks me how certain things we look on, and I'm like, yeah, I like that, or I don't like it, because again, we consider one another.
Right.
So for me, it's just important to want to good for yourself, because if you don't have that self-awareness for yourself, then that might be something you need to evaluate. Mm-hmm. Right? You may need to evaluate that because you have to want it for yourself. And I always like to just keep myself looking, a certain way, and that just, carried on into my marriage. And truthfully, there's times when, I'll say to him, I'm going to get my nails done, and he'll pay for it, or get my hair done, he'll pay for it because he wants me to look good as well.
Right.
Well, why not? Why not? Keep yourself looking good. Because you have a man that wants you to look good as well, right?
Right.
You want to look good for him. So why not keep yourself together?
Exactly.
To me, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, well, because some of us, people get comfortable. That's my husband now. I don't have to do. Well, that's when you have to do more. When you have the husband, that's the time you have to do more. You have to do more than you did when you guys were dating, because now you want to keep him. Right?
Exactly.
And vice versa. He wants to keep you. So, you guys have to. It's like work. People, I don't know if everybody don't think that marriage is a lot of work. You cannot sit around and just get comfortable. And I'm not saying that in a bad way, like it's so hard you have to like be worried about it. No, because when something is natural, you don't have to do anything extra. It's gonna come natural, like she said. If you want to look nice, if you're somebody that like to look nice already, that's already natural for you. You ain't going out of your way. But if you're one of those people that just sit around and don't care much, but then when you was dating, you went out of your way because you wanted to be attracted to somebody.
Right.
And now that you guys are together and you go back to your old ways, that could just be some of the reasons why he's not looking too much. That could just be some of the reason why he's not maybe hugging you, kissing you the way he used to do. I mean, this is unmuted. I like to be real. Sometimes you just have to, it doesn't mean that when you do all of those things, if the person is not truly in love or don't want to be there, will be there, right? It doesn't mean that, but I'm just saying sometimes we have to just realize that we are with somebody else, and we have to make sure whatever we did to get that person, we have to continue to do something. We can't just get comfortable. Life is not about staying in the same place. It's about growth. It's about knowing what your partner wants, what he likes, and meet in the middle. Because I like my guys to be nice. I like to see my partner looking nice. So even if he's not telling you it, I'm sure he like to look at something nice, maybe a different hairstyle, but just make him even want you more. It's like, oh, okay, all right, something just to spark it up. But who am I? Right. You've been married for 30 years. Well, I'm just talking to the rest of us that ain't got it together yet. I'm learning. You guys are learning. Let's all learn together so next time we can keep a husband. I'm joking. But yeah, so I like those of us. I like it. I like it. Ooh, okay.
And remember to always work. You have to work.
You have to always work. I always say that marriage is a lot of work, but it's a beautiful thing when you are with the right person. When you are with the right person, it is a beautiful thing. It is very beautiful. So somebody asked me before, will you get married? Yeah, of course, yes. Why not? First of all, I'm too young to sit here and say I won't get married. And why would I be giving anybody that much credit to say because I got divorced one time, I can get married again? No, I will get married again. In fact, I'm a better vision now. So I'm a better person now. I will be a better wife, in fact, because I have been working on myself. And, it's a growth. It's a growth thing. So we have to grow and we have to keep moving. And, like she told me earlier, he's coming. God is working on him. All right. What advice will you give to someone who has experienced a tough divorce and struggles with trust?
What advice would I give to someone who's struggling with trust?
Who has experienced a tough divorce and struggles with trust? Someone who is struggling.
I know it's easier said than done, but you have to keep your past in the past. You can't go into a new relationship with old baggage, right? And you have to be open to opportunities, because the things that you experience in your last relationship is not what you may experience in your new. And you can't move forward. You're still stuck in the past. You went that first marriage, didn't work. Listen, there's still sunshine at the end of the tunnel. There's still sunlight at the end of the tunnel. It's a brand new day. It's a new opportunity to do this for you. So you have to be willing to put in the work. You cannot blame someone for things that you would do in the past because they weren't a part of that equation. They weren't a part of it. So you have to be open and honest with yourself, number one. And then you have to be honest with the next person to say, I appreciate you so much for taking me through what I've been through in the past, even though it's good to share what you've been through, so things that you don't appreciate, things that you don't like, things that you don't tolerate. But at the same time, you have to see them as the person they are and be willing to accept who they are and to be willing to chance to see that you're supposed to be in.
Yeah, your phone is breaking up a lot. I don't know what's it's breaking up a lot.
I'm on my laptop, so I'm not sure what's going on. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's breaking up a lot, but right now, like I can hear you. All right, we lost her again, but we almost done. So I'm just gonna wait for her to come back on. She have two more things to go over, and then we can call it a night. She's been having some hard time over there. Um, Let me see. She could probably just go on her phone. Stay with us. We are not done yet. She's gonna come back. She's giving us. I'm gonna have her explain that situation back to us because I could barely hear her, and I know if I wasn't hearing her, you guys wasn't. So, I can you hear me?
I
I
can
was
hear
saying
you.
if you want to try your phone instead, but I can hear you. So you want to go back over what you just said? Because I know we did not hear you. It was mumbling a lot. Hello?
About the what advice would I give to someone who has trust issues?
Yes.
You cannot go into a new relationship with old baggage.
Right.
You have to let your past stay in your past. You can't fault the new person for the things that you went through in the previous relationship because it's not fair to that individual. They're coming with an open mind. You have
Yeah, she have to use her phone. Her internet is just messing up. Okay, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being patient with us. Let me read the comments here. Thank you guys for watching again. Thank you for your interaction. I'm having a little problem here with my guests. You all know the network misbehave at times, so be a little patient with us. She is coming back in the room, and I will bring her back live. This is why I stay here to entertain y'all. Yes, I love you guys so much for being patient with us tonight. It has been some difficulties, but I know y'all like to watch me, and I like to watch y'all, so y'all can just keep watching me. She's gonna come back on because she's not done yet. I love all the great advices that she's giving us. She's been married for almost 30 years. That's a big one, all right? Nobody can tell me nothing, all right? If this woman been married for 30 years, I'm gonna take all her advice. I'm gonna keep them in my ears, all right? And do my thing. I'm going to hang around this one right here. 30 years, I'm trying to do mine, all right? I'm not going to give up. They say, show me your friends and I tell you where your future will be, right? So I'm going to stay over there. I'm going to keep that friendship because she knows how to keep the man locked down. Yes. But yeah, y'all know me, I play around. But anyway, we have to be patient and wait on her. She's going to join us. I know she's so frustrated about this, but it is okay. It's all good. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Teresa. Yes, you are always having to be prayerful. We have to stay prayerful. That's right. Thank you. That's great. Thank you. Thank you. Great show, guys. Thank you, friends. Let me see here. Let me see all the comments that are coming through. Okay, she's coming on. There she comes. It's okay. We're almost done. I don't know what's going on, but all right, she's back with us. So go ahead if you can remember what you were saying. If not, I can. You know,
Don't go into a new relationship with old baggage. Allow your past to stay in your past. It's in your past for a reason. Hopefully, you have learned something from that previous relationship. Go into the new relationship with an open mind.
okay, okay. For those of us who struggle with trust, because I am one of them, and I said earlier, you can't give up on love, you can't give up on life, but I'm not ashamed to say I'm struggling with trusting people, because that has been that has been most of my experiences with people just being one thing and then being another thing later, So I'm really struggling with that. This is why I'm always asking this question, and I will continue to ask this question because it continues to be my problem. I just have to learn to just trust, because everyone's not the same. But then when you have like two, three, four different people has already told you some lies, you're like, everyone not the same. But at this point, like, how many people is not, who's going to be the truth for one? Especially my last situation was very, 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 very terrible. But it taught me a lot, and I'm gonna trust again. You just have to bear with me, guys. And when I say guys, I mean your men. Bear with me. I'm getting there. So trust is a very, very, very important thing. We have to trust. Some people don't care for that. So anyway, that was my last question for you. And now I'm gonna have you talk about your Rebirth as a Q Women Empowerment Program. You formed this event. This will be the third year now, and I have been blessed to be a part of it. And in fact, you have another one coming up next week. And guys, I am going to be speaking at the beautiful Women Empowerment event. Is right here in my neighborhood. So if you're trying to catch me, you know where to find me. So tell us a little bit about that. She is the CEO and founder of the Rebirth as a Q Women Empowerment event. Tell everybody about your program. Let's see who's gonna come.
So yes, rebirth and execute is something that God laid on my heart about 3 years ago. It was something that I was actually thinking about doing prior to that, but it became a mission 3 years ago. It's pretty much a platform to allow women to come and share their story, of things that they had to go through, obstacles and challenges that they had to face in life, to kind of like wind down, to be around other like minded women, to just enjoy one another's company, to interact, to pray with one another, to encourage others, to give hope to those who feel like their situation is never going to change. And it's just a beautiful experience. Like my sister said, she's been with me from the beginning, but now she's going to be, a different type of vendor this year, sharing her story, her journey with her new book, Unmuted. And I'm so excited to hear about her story, but also I'm excited to allow others to learn about, what she's been through, because that's what it's about, encouraging one another. It's about, lifting and inspiring other women, to be the best versions of ourselves. And so I do believe that, my sister will be a great asset to this event. And yes, it will be this coming Saturday, October 5th, from 2 to 6 p.m. at the West Hampton Rec Center in West Hampton, New Jersey. So the cost is very minimal. It's only $30. That includes a catered meal. It includes, a panel discussion that we're going to have. We can talk about realistic situations that we go through and how we handle those challenges. We're going to have vendors there, and it's just going to be an amazing event. And so, if you're not busy and you want to be where Ricia's going to be, come and join us. It's not too late, and I'm telling you, it'll be very impactful, and it will be an event that you will not forget about. So, come and join us. Yes, and you'll see exactly what we're talking about and why we're so excited about it. Why we're so excited about it. So just come on out. Come on out.
Yes. Come on out. Give them your social media link where they can find you. If they need ticket, where can they go to find the ticket?
So you can go on Eventbrite and you can look up, you can type in the word empowerment. You can find it that way. Or if you choose to contact me directly, you can do that. You can inbox me at, on Facebook, Lakiesha Lynch, and I can provide you with the additional options and how you can purchase your ticket if you don't want to go to the Eventbrite, because we do have different options for everyone to make it easier, as easy as possible. So yes, my name, Lakiesha Lynch. As you can see here on the screen, you can always find me that way. You can also find about other things that I may be, a part of. I also have another business, which is a 360 photo booth business. So I do that. And as my sister stated earlier, I am an American beauty consultant. I kind of, gave that a rest for a little while because I need to focus on other things, which is mainly ministry. So that's where I am right now in life. But you can always find me. If you have something that you would like for me to be a part of, you can always reach out to me. Or again, you can find out what I'm up to and you can be a part of that. So either way, I am accessible.
Yeah, she is accessible. Her Facebook is right there, just her first and last name, Lakiesha Lynch. So you go on her Facebook. Want to go searching, you can also find the information on my page, and I'm going to also share it on my page tonight so it can be new and easier to access. But that's an event you want to come to, especially if you are in the tri-state area, Philadelphia, Delaware, Jersey, New York, Maryland. You want to come to this event. It's going to be powerful. I've been to 2 of it since she started, and this will be the 3rd year, correct? This will be the 3rd one. And we just have fun. We praise God. We eat. Y'all know I love my food. So I'm looking forward to that food and just praising God and just fellowshipping. And then we have panel discussions with great women, so come on out and enjoy yourself with your sisters. Praise God and shopping, support small businesses. I will be there signing my book also. So for anyone that wants to have a signed copy of my book, that would be a perfect time to come and purchase a book and hear me talk a little bit about my story. And then I don't give away too much because I want you guys to buy the book. So I just give a little bit of my story and then leave the rest for you guys to purchase and read on your own. Yeah. So I'm very excited. I'm always doing a vending at her event. This year will be the first year I'm going to be a speaker.
You have to be there. You have to be there.
You have to be there. Come on, show me some love. Come on, I will show you some love and just fellowship with other women and just, receive God. It's a great thing. I love it. I have been attending a lot of women empowerment events and I'm loving it. It's just a lot of difference. You can see the love and just God being in the mix. So again, her information is on there, Lakiesha Lynch on Facebook. So thank you, my sister, for being here with me. I'm going to let you go. Pray for me. Continue to pray for me. And I will be in church pretty soon.
Thank you for having me. Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you so much for being here. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Goodbye. Okay.
It's okay. I can remove you. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in tonight. It was a beautiful show. We had some technical difficulties, but for the most part, We learned some great things. And so please follow our YouTube. It's right there on the screen. Follow our YouTube channel. Subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss any future episodes or announcement. Also on Instagram is Let's Get Unmuted Podcast. Facebook is Recia Kabbah and Unmuted. Facebook, Recia Kabbah and Unmuted. And you will see all my links in my bio concerning the Unmuted collections, concerning the Recia Boutique women clothing and accessories. Just follow me one time. That's all you have to do. And then all the information are right there. So thank you for tuning in today. I want to give a shout out to my sis, Jason Helen. She's having an Inner Star Trailblazer Awards next Saturday the 12th. October the 12th, she's having an Inner Star Trailblazer Awards. I will be there. I am a nominee for my book. I have been nominated for Unmuted, so I'm very, 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 very excited for it. If you want to attend this event, the information is right on my page. The ticket is right on my page. In fact, she's giving away 10% discount. So go and get your ticket and come party with me again. You see, that's 2 different times you have opportunities of partying with me. I will be at both events. And so come on out and enjoy with other people. Until next time, I love you all. Stay true to yourself and love on yourself. All right? Thank you so much for tuning in again. This is Unmuted Podcast. I'm your host, Recia Kabbah. See you. Good night.